KLBK News at 6.
Coming up, a tuition rebate program giving some students a break, but with a catch. Plus, Lubbock ISD finding solutions for at-risk kids. But first, police investigating a body found in a home in central Lubbock. Hi there, I'm Madi Salazar filling in for Terry tonight. Thanks for joining us this Friday evening. We begin tonight with a suspicious death investigation near 23rd and Avenue L. Lubbock police were called to the scene this afternoon after a landlord walked in and found the body. Although homicide investigators were called to the scene, police are just calling this a death investigation for now. A spokesperson for LPD told us when officers arrived on scene, something didn't seem right, and that's why they're calling it suspicious. Neighbors in the area say the man lived in the home for several years. They also added he was elderly and bound to a wheelchair. Police now knocking on doors and talking with neighbors to figure out what happened.
One came by and he was like asking me, questions about my cameras and stuff, and I told him the information and stuff, and he was asking if we knew him, and if I knew that he had passed away, and I didn't know.
Cabrera says the man was elderly and sick, but right now police say this is still a suspicious death investigation. They're waiting for autopsy results before they release new details. Police tell us today the person hit by a car last night was 56-year-old Darnell Johnson. They say the accident killed him. The incident happened just before 9 last night near Zenith Avenue and Parkway Drive. This is the second pedestrian accident in just 2 days. This is a look at the second accident. This one happened on Monday. Police say the man was hit by a car, and he was 44-year-old Jimmy Hewlett Jr. As of this morning, he's still in the hospital with life-threatening injuries. The accident happened near 27th and Avenue Q. Hewlett was walking east across Avenue Q when he was hit by the car. Police say he didn't use the crosswalk and didn't yield the right of way when he was hit. We'll continue following these stories and bring you the latest here on KLBK and on our website, everythinglubbock.com. Texas Governor Greg Abbott just appointed 3 new members to the Texas Tech Board of Regents. Mark Griffin is a businessman who lives in Lubbock, is a former Lubbock School Board trustee, and served as a regent for 4 years starting in 2005. Ginger Couric is a flight integration director for NASA and is a member of the Society of Women Engineers. And Lubbock native Dusty Womble manages the several private businesses and real estate holdings and is a member of the Rawls Business School Advisory Board and the Texas Tech Foundation Board. All 3 are tech graduates and will serve if approved until January 31st of 2025. Texas college students could now be eligible to receive $1,000 just for graduating on time. Here at Texas Tech, students have to fall under certain guidelines for the tuition rebate. Our Leah Doherty was at Texas Tech earlier today. She tells us more about the program.
The average student at Texas Tech graduates with over $30,000 in debt. And with prices not going down anytime soon, the state offers a way to soften that blow.
The tuition rebate is a state-funded program that allows certain undergraduates that complete their degree without going overboard on the number of semester credit hours that they take to get a $1,000 rebate from the state of Texas.
Meaning if your degree program is 120 hours, you can't exceed 123 credit hours.
That rebate can be applied to their student loans, or it can go directly to the student if they don't have any outstanding loans.
All it takes is filling out a simple form, listing any outstanding loans, and providing contact information.
You can fill it out anytime during your educational career at Texas Tech. The deadline would be before the end of the term in which you're going to graduate.
Now, students can fill out these forms both online and in person, so they can head on over to the Student Business Services located at West Hall and grab one of these forms under tuition rebate, fill it out. It only takes about 30 seconds, and then turn it in to the front desk.
Loans are going to be there for a long time, so any help that you can get is going to be a big help.
Brianna Maldonado graduated from Tech in December and received her rebate, a process she said was so easy she forgot she even did it.
Especially since it is such a short form, it's very convenient, very fast, very easy, and it can help you so much in the long term with just $1,000 right off in something that you filled out in less than 30 seconds.
Students must complete the form before they graduate, and if they qualify, they can expect the rebate in 4 to 6 months.
We want to make it as easy as possible. We love to give away the state's money, so at any opportunity, we want to make sure that students can put money back in their pocket for completing their degree successfully here at Texas Tech.
Leah Doherty, KLBK News.
All right, thanks, Leah. State senators voted unanimously on Monday to approve Senate Bill 3, which would give teachers and librarians a $5,000 raise. The original bill only included raises for teachers, but Senator Jane Nelson added a late amendment to include librarians. That adds $53 million to the bill. Right now, the starting salary for public school teachers and librarians in the Lubbock School District is $43,000. This will raise that salary to $48,000. Christy Starr, a librarian at Coronado High School, says there was a big push for librarians to be included in the bill.
The most benefit we receive from it is the fact that we are recognized as teachers, because in our role on campuses, we consider libraries to be the largest classroom in the school. We're working with all the students, we're working with the faculty as well.
If signed into law, educators will see a boost in their paychecks starting in the fall. Texas lawmakers are considering a bill that would make helmets mandatory for anyone riding a motorcycle. A Dallas man asked her to do it, even though he doesn't have a motorcycle. Julie Fine has the story.
It was on this stretch of road of 75 that Cannon Brown saw an accident this past summer.
I was the first person that stopped to help at the accident that took Joe Swim's life.
Joe Swim of Dallas was riding his motorcycle and, according to Brown, not wearing a helmet. Brown wrote a Facebook post that night about how precious life is. Through that, he connected with the Swim family and made a plea to some lawmakers.
And I had reached out in that post to Representative Niave's office asking to do something because I knew that we did not have a universal helmet law.
Representative Niave filed a bill that would make them mandatory for all riders in the state of Texas. We came to a motorcycle store, Dream Machines of Texas. We found differing opinions on this bill.
I personally am not in favor of it. Riding a motorcycle has always been an expression of freedom.
He's not alone. Groups like the Texas Coalition of Independent Riders are sharing petitions against the bill and urging Texans to call their representatives and speak out against it. What percentage of your customers do you think wear helmets?
I'd probably say 30 to 40%.
But Assistant Manager Dusty Taylor thinks they should be mandatory, and they are there when a customer takes a test ride.
It's just safer. I mean, you know, just more protection.
Right now, the bill has been referred to the Transportation Committee. So far, there is no companion bill in the Senate.
All right, thanks so much. Metallica came to town this past weekend, and while they gave the community the gift of good music, they also gave back to some charities while they were here. The band donated $10,000 to the South Plains Food Bank. They also gave all their leftover food to the Catholic Charities of Lubbock. It's enough meals to serve 100 families. The organizations say this kind of support means everything.
They did ask us a lot of questions about the food insecure people that we have on the South Plains. How is this donation going to help them? That was just awesome to have them really kind of interested in what we were doing and not just handing us a check.
And so they decided that they were going to just find a place that they could give it to everywhere they go so it doesn't go to waste. And it's an awesome idea. It's a simple idea, and you just wish you'd see more of it.
When the charities went to pick up their donations, Metallica even let them hang around to hear some of the show. Housing instability can happen at any age, even to some of our local kids here in the Hub City. Lubbock ISD officials say they have more than 700 students living in temporary living situations. Our Emily Harrison spoke with people in this situation today. She joins us in studio with the story. Emily, where are these kids living right now?
700 transitory students sounds like a lot, but not all these kids are living on the street. They just don't have a consistent living situation. LISD says this is an ongoing issue, making sure these kids have the means and resources to make it to the school.
I can't tell you how many times I hear people who are not in my office say, we don't have an issue with people living on the streets or homelessness or things like that, but it's a reality for me every single day.
Holly Led works with hundreds of at-risk students.
We try to connect them if they need jobs, food, try to connect them to places that they might be able to find housing, or if they need emergency shelter.
I feel like if it wasn't for Matthews, we definitely wouldn't be graduating.
Places like Matthews Alternative High School give students like Zai Brown flexibility to make their own schedules.
Literally go from home to school back to work, and then it's just like a cycle, like kind of a rough schedule, especially me getting off at 1, and I had to only get like 4 hours of sleep.
A lot of these students are in temporary living situations, meaning they're moving from house to house constantly.
It's not easy, but the situations were not always clean or, you know, dealing with pests, but at the time it was what we could afford.
Zai is now living in a house with his mom and her boyfriend, but this is a common issue for a lot of students at Matthews.
It's kind of hard for some people to come forward because of how embarrassing that might seem to them, and they have no choice but to do that.
Lubbock ISD says this doesn't stop most students from succeeding. It just means they have to work twice as hard.
It happens. Students are successful. It doesn't matter if they're living in a stable environment or not. And I want people to know that it's possible for them to be successful.
Lubbock ISD says they are always trying to come up with new ways to help get their students to school, whether that be busing, scheduling, or online classes. They say they're willing to work with the students in order to graduate.
All right, thanks so much, Emily. Coming up a little later in our newscast, a South Carolina woman is hoping to help reduce food insecurity in the United States, one garden at a time. We'll tell you how coming up. But first, Heidi, it was a beautiful day outside. Can we expect warmer temperatures tomorrow too?
You can. We are going to see quite the warm up on the way. Today we were still below average. You can see we got to 60 for your high and 26 for the low. 64 and 35 are the average. And of course the warming trend continues through tomorrow, but after that, quite the cool down on the way. Details.